I'll have to call in sick today, boss. I'm not feeling myself. You said over the phone as you examine your reptilian features. No can do, we need to finish this project ASAP. Besides, you're not the only one facing this problem, your boss replied. I bit lip, wincing at the sudden pain. My reflection showed the fangs replacing the teeth I had, larger and sharper. A forked tongue licked the sore area, as the boss continued. So I expect you in at normal time, so we can get this sorted. His sentence ended with a strange squawk. I frowned, feeling my brand new tail twitch. What was that? He sighed, a rustling coming over the call. My own problem. Now get your butt moving, we need to get this project finished. See you in a bit. The call ended, leaving me standing in silence. If I were to guess, he had been affected by whatever mistake had been made on the project too. If so, then I imagine the rest of the team was too. That idea made me feel a little better, that I wasn't the only one changed. I glanced at the mirror again, taking myself in. Dull green scales covered the back of my body, turning paler onto my belly. It had completely removed my hair, a flat dome on my head. My face had developed a snout, eyes pushed partially to the sides. My shirt hung looser, my torso slimmer and streamlined. My fingers had developed thin webbing, nails extended to claws. My tail was just over a meter in length, thick enough to be a limb in its own right. My feet had developed webbing too, toes grown a little longer than before. Behind me, I noticed Lady Romanov staring at me from the hall. Her ears had flattened, eyes wide. I turned towards her, seeing her start to rear back. The sweetest kitty, I had never heard her hiss before today, even at the vet. Yet now she was acting full of venom, scuttling away as I turned towards her. My heart broke. She was my favorite little void, the furry gremlin I looked forward to returning home to, and now I had probably scared her senseless. I would have to get her some fancy food on the way back home after, to say sorry. Still, I had to get to work first. I retreated to my bedroom, rifling through my clothes. My underwear felt awkward, the tail right in the way. But at least there was a point to wearing it, unlike my bra. With this change, I had nothing to support. I put on a side anyway, assuming it would be fixed today. I could always put one on in the bathroom. A blouse was easy enough to choose, though it hung baggier. It took a few minutes to get the hang of my buttons, trying not to tear the fabric with these new claws. With another sigh I chose one of the only skirts I had, realizing trousers were definitely a no-go. Thinking quickly, I grabbed a couple of safety pins, as I zipped it up partway. My tail poked through, as I pinned the top together. It wasn't comfortable, it wasn't exactly the prettiest, but it would do for now. I gave up on shoes, realizing how much bigger my feet had grown. It wasn't professional, but I could hardly be blamed for it. I still grabbed a pair to take with me though, just in case. With this all together, I walked to the door. Thankfully I always left super early to get to work, so I could walk to my car without being seen, hopefully. The drive itself could get interesting, but I told myself no one would pay attention. They would be too interested on getting coffee, or the day's misery to notice me. The drive was uncomfortable to say the least. I had never appreciated just how much it had been designed for people, until I sat in my car. Everything was the wrong distance, I had to sit further forwards my tail would sit, and half the time the touch screen didn't recognize when I tapped it. I was so pleased to pull into our car park, and stretch as I got out. The joy made me miss as one of my colleagues pulled in, until I heard the door open. I spun, startled by the noise. What I saw made me start. I didn't recognize them, under all of that brown fur. I could only describe them as a werewolf, stuffed into an ill-fitting suit. Fur poked out everywhere, making their clothes look horribly awkward. They grumbled at me, slamming the door and shaking their head. Ugh. What a morning, hey. I nodded, doing my best not to let my sudden mirth fill into my voice. Tell me about it. Sorry, I don't recognize you. I'm Pat, by the way. The gruff wolf shook his head, ears flopping a little. Pat, wow. You look cool, unlike me. I'm Darren. I fought hard not to laugh. Darren and I had a common opinion, that being cats were the best. Him being a werewolf-looking person was hilarious to me. I'm sure later he would see the irony. Still, I turned towards the lab, snatching my bag. You look fine, Darren, very huggable. Still, let's see what everyone else looks like, and then get this stupid thing fixed. His eyes lit up, bounding forwards a little. That sounds like a great idea. What do you think it is? I shrugged, taking longer strides than usual. Probably the containment field. But if that's the case, we have another issue. How do we undo this? I added a private thought even as we went. This was uncomfortable, and frustrating to be like this. But I had to admit, it was kind of nice, not being human. Did I want to undo it?